Well, 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 you stumbled upon our vault. We have some classic episodes here, although we did rename ourselves Two Owls, One Pod. Enjoy. Do not forget to rate and review us. Thanks for your support.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Two Owls, One Pod. We are the spin-off of the web series The Two Dicks. Then we were the Talking Dicks. Now we're Two Owls, One Pod. This is volume number 285. 285 volumes by myself and my partner there. That's Al Ducharme. He's in Studio City, California. At home. I'm in Clearwater, Florida. At home. A rare double home podcast for us. Usually one of us, two of us are traveling, but we're both home. How are you today, Alfredo?
This is the Double Home Run podcast today. We are both plugged in. We shouldn't have any interference with cruise ships getting out of range of satellites or bad weather. We have direct feeds. I'm on T-Mobile's home Wi-Fi, 5G. You're plugged into the wall, right?
I'm on the Spectrum. That's
you
what
are.
I'm using. Spectrum, and I'm
you
on.
are on
literally.
the Spectrum. Yeah, no,
I think I'm off the Spectrum.
I think we both are. I think we both fell off the Spectrum hard.
It's funny how you can be our age, and then now you have reasons. You look back and you go, "Yeah, I think maybe I was on the Spectrum there, or maybe I think I'm, yeah." Hey, come on,
watch it, lady.
That's one thing you don't get on the old ships.
Is that Teddy?
That's Teddy.
What's he doing?
He was outside, and Kelly brought him in, and now he's sitting there barking at her. I think maybe he wasn't ready to come in. I don't know.
That's Rosemary's baby.
What is this?
AKA Teddy.
Yeah. Well.
So every time you get an Amazon delivery, or your neighbor does, he goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, he goes crazy. This dog is nuts, man. He really, I love him, but he's nuts.
Yeah,
he's nuts. I've never had a small dog. I think they're different, obviously, than the big ones. Personality, they're very. This dog is needy, but a great dog. He's a great dog. Just a lot of issues. You know what I mean? On the spectrum, if you will. You know what I'm saying? He watches Spectrum too.
You got to get him on
TV.
You got to get him on the Cox cable. Is what you got to do.
Know. He had one. We took it out. We took it away from the Cox. He had to wear a harness, or what do you call it? What's that thing called over your neck? What was that thing when you put around a dog's neck?
Oh, the electric collar.
No. When they get fixed, they wear a halo or a cone of silence.
What is a cone of silence? Was it a translucent one, or?
Well, we didn't do it, of course, because we're weird dog parents, so we didn't even do any of that. We just were like, no, he's not wearing anything around his neck. So we watched him, made sure he didn't lick his privates and things. But
yeah, you watched him while you were sleeping, or did you take turns sleeping?
I don't remember. It was a while ago, but there was no cone of silence. We were not having that.
No,
not in 2024.
Cone of silence. I'd like to get one for Bernie, right over her head, this way, the opposite,
and a shot collar. That'd be awesome. So you're home. You flew in. What? Give us a little backstory. Where were you? Where'd you fly in from? When'd you get in? Let's hear that.
I was performing on Celebrities Beyond. It's called the Celebrity Beyond cruise ship. And then with 48 hours before I was departing, I got the email, can you switch to another ship ASAP? So I was off to do a 9-day cruise, and they switched me to an 11-day cruise.
Oh.
So prorated, I'd make a little extra dough. I didn't have any interference. They said, we need to know right now, it's an emergency. And I'm like, I'm a company guy. They're going to remember me doing a favor for them when it comes time for me to ask for a favor.
How long have you been in this business?
Well, sarcasm is spewing from me right now.
Yes, yeah.
Spew it. So I was going to go down and do like a 9-day cruise, and I was going to do 3 shows, which is fine. So I ended up doing a 3, 4, and 3-day cruises. And I had to join in Nassau. So that's called the downliner. We talked about this on one of our previous episodes.
Yes.
Where I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning and be the first person off the ship. Just sit and wait for an hour and a half. And then they go, once you get off, you can come right back on and hang out until like, whatever, 10 o'clock. And then you'll be fine. Then they said, nope, Fort Lauderdale, you're homeless. They kicked me off. It was like 95 degrees. And I said, all right, let me get
they don't know any of these
yeah,
things. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get my 10,000 steps in. So I
Mm-hmm.
walked to town. It was still relatively cool then, but the way back.
Did you go to
it
your
was 90.
breakfast joint that you like?
I didn't this time. I went to Waxy's Irish pub, and Mondays, it was a Monday, they had fish and chip special. Regular $17.95, $5
Yeah.
off.
All right.
So I ordered a brew. I walked
breakfast?
7. By the way, I walked
For
for 7.
breakfast?
I walked 7 miles, so it was lunchtime.
Holy.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. 7.5
7
total.
miles.
7.5 total by the time I got back to the ship.
Whoa. That's,
For exercise.
That's a lot. I mean, I walk, but I don't do 7.5 miles.
That's a lot. My record's 13.
That's excessive.
I like to get like 4 to 5. If weather permitting. I will say the last
You're not doing it the next few
the last
times.
45 minutes to an hour was a mistake because it got really hot and humid. And I was like, am I going to make it? Am I going to grab someone's hose on the side of their house?
Hey, now.
But I had a bottle of water in my backpack. I was good.
You ever do that walk from downtown Cozumel you don't have money for a cab, and then it's at 1,000 degrees? That just reminded me of like the last 30 minutes of that is, I don't know if I can make it.
Well, they only accept cash.
That one.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, I just go, I don't think I can do this.
You didn't mean that you didn't have the money.
I didn't bring cash with me. And they don't, that's the only, it's 1920 in Cozumel.
It's $8 or $10.
It's weird. It's 10, but some still do 8.
8, yeah.
I don't understand, but continue. So you're walking, you make it to why this Waxy's? Why not your usual place that I met you at?
Because I've been up so long, since 5:30 in the morning. It was lunchtime for me. So I went in at 11:30. I ordered a beer and fish and chips. And then I finished my beer and my fish and chips came, and I said, you know what? I ordered backwards. Can I have an old fashioned? And they made me a smoked old fashioned for $12.
All right.
And it was pretty damn good.
So
I had a little buzz on.
Yeah. Is that the picture you sent me?
Yes.
Was that?
Okay. No.
I think that was on a ship. No, you had one.
That was on a ship. Yeah. I'm going through an old fashioned phase because they're very popular right now. There's a big, it's a
They're
throwback.
They're too popular.
But you got to remember, Beckmeyer 15 years ago was making these for me from his 1950s and 1940s cocktail mixology books.
Yeah.
And he was making the original one.
Right.
I banged my elbow on my desk. Son of a bitch.
Oh, funny bone?
Nothing funny about that. As Tom Cotter would say, that's not the funny bone, it's the motherfucker bone. Or something like that. The motherfucker's not funny bone.
Yeah, the old fash, you know what? It's like cigars. It's too popular. I mean, I love it, but every douchey weirdo is getting an old fashioned, and then they have a cigar that they don't know how to smoke, and that kind of thing. So that's fine. But I've enjoyed the old fashioned for many years, and the smoked. I like what you did there. A noon-ish smoked old fashioned. Pretty good. I didn't have
shows that night.
No.
And because they made me home, it was almost I was doing it to be rebellious in a way. I was like, these motherfuckers kicked me out. I'll show you. I'm going to go out and get a little buzz at noon.
That's right.
So anyways, Waxy's Irish Pub right there.
Shout out.
West 17th Street, across from the malls and all that. Fish and chips, Monday, $12.95. Old fashions, $12.
How's the place? Is it an Irish pub? That's
it's great.
Just
I've been there before. Before. But
okay.
I was actually the first one to walk in at 11:25. Nice. I go, am I the first one? They said, you are. Come on in. I sat at the bar. They were playing highlights from the games the night before, and it was great. I had and then a couple of barflies came in, locals.
Of course, gotta have those.
They're like, "Hey, Larry, have a seat. What do you want? Hi, Nick. Hi, Rosie.
Shot and a beer. shot and a beer. You know me.
Give me a highball of stott today. Whoa, you're going quick today. All right. All that dialogue.
They're sitting, two young guys sitting there looking go across, going, you see those two old fucks? That's going to be us in 15 years. And then the other guy goes, hey, dipshit, that's a mirror. Anyway.
It was quite the eclectic of people, too. It was like me, Mr. Cruise Ship comedian guy. There's the housewife. And then there's the biker looking guy. And then there's the guy with the big beard. He looks like a bear, a gay man.
I like the housewife there. That's did you ever see that movie Trees Lounge? Steve Buscemi wrote it, directed it, starred in it.
I know of it. I didn't see it. Yeah.
It was it's about a bar like that on Long Island, but literally there's a guy there who takes his vacation. His wife and kids want to go to Disney World. And he's like, no. And he goes to Trees Lounge every day. That's his vacation. So you get guys like that, you know, that kind of thing, which is great. You know, I'm glad to see it's still a thing. I haven't been in a bar at noon in a long time, and I'm glad it's still, you know,
it brought back some memories. But at the same time, I'm not, because I'm a solo traveler. I have no issue walking into a restaurant. If I'm in the mood for a nice Italian meal, I walk in on a Saturday night.
Hell yeah.
I don't have a Saturday night gig for some reason, because my schedule, or if I'm doing a corporate show the day before and I'm there an extra day, whatever the reason. Yeah. Saturday night, walk right in, table for one, please. Have a full-on meal and a glass of wine. Non-issue.
Yeah. No, and now with phones, there's nothing wrong. I used to get a little bit when I didn't have a phone before those days, and then you have the paper or a magazine. Like, it's weird. But a phone, I mean, you don't need anyone anymore.
Nope.
You really don't. You go out with people. You
Bernie,
go,
pack your bags.
I'm trying to read. Yeah, I'm trying to read my phone.
I've got a phone.
That's it.
I've got a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
She's all about it. She's like, okay.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Well, I've seen her post on Facebook. She's not happy with you. You flew in from where? Where'd you come? Where'd you get off your last cruise?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
So I did that. I came here and I flew into Dallas. I had a layover, and there were thunderstorms and tennis ball size hail. They always use softball or tennis ball as a measurement for how bad the hail is. And again, Texas was getting crushed with these storms. So it delayed my flight by an hour and a half, hour and 25. And then the captain said, okay, if they can push us off in the next 5 minutes, we'll go. If not, we reach our time limit and we got to empty the plane out. So I was thinking, oh shit, I'm going to have to spend the night here in Dallas. And then at the last moment, he goes, okay, folks, let's get out of here quick. Close everything up. We were like the first to take off. And then he goes, we're going to make up some time in the air. No, you're not. Yeah. It's past a half hour.
Yeah, get out of here.
Hey, folks, we got you here.
Up time.
Yeah. We're only about 45, 50 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because of weather, not us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
they're all the same. Even when they get in early, they make the announcement.
Hey, folks.
Clap.
Yeah, folks, like I got you here 20 minutes early, unfortunately, because
we're going to sit here for an hour now.
There's someone at our gate. We don't know why. They should have been gone by now, but it's not my fault.
Don't make the announcement, dipshit.
Yeah.
You're not early. You're early when I'm off the plane in the airport.
When I have my luggage in my hand 20 minutes before I'm supposed to land.
Right. Yeah. Remember when Letterman was a weatherman before in Indianapolis? He was the weatherman on local news, and he said, it's hail the size of canned hams. Yeah, man. I flew, I didn't fly. I drove my car home from Miami on Saturday. And, you know, my history with these Lyft drivers from the airport. I mean, I go from the port to the airport to get a rental car. Then I take the rental. I drive it home. I had a Dodge Charger, by the way, with 300 miles on it. That thing was fucking fun. Oh, that was a good time. Yeah. I was touching 100 miles. I was doing 100 miles an hour on Alligator Alley.
Alligator Alley. There goes that. Wow. There goes that. Wow. Wow.
It was moving. It was moving. But this guy picks me up, and I don't know how old he is. You know what I mean? He's younger than me. but he doesn't. But he's in horrible physical health and condition. And I knew you always know when he pops the trunk and then he doesn't get out to help you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like this guy's no good. He can't move.
Mm-hmm.
I got a big ass suitcase. I'm like, I no problem, dude. I'll get it myself. And he's just sitting there. And as we're driving away, he's telling me he loves GPS, but he's like, I love the GPS so much. And I go, yeah. Imagine, living without it kind of thing. He goes, well, I'm from a time where you didn't have it. And he looks at me like I'm younger. I'm like, I remember that, of course. And I'm like, and then I look over as I'm talking to him, and he's wearing sweatpants. And I'm not, the only way I can describe his legs and his body, it looked like you took a pair of sweatpants and dumped oatmeal into them. You filled them with oatmeal. Oof. His legs were just bumps and pockets.
He looked like the Michelin Man.
But the Michelin Man at least had some texture. This guy was it was quicksand in pants, and it was just bumps, and it was fucking weird, man. And as we're driving, he goes, they're really building up Miami. I tell you, I go, yeah, I see it. And he goes, my wife and I used to go out. We don't go out anymore. I go, oh, you married? He goes, married. He goes, I got a Brazilian wife 20 years younger than me. He goes, I don't need to go out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. You have a hot character. Brazilian wife. I
love this. Fucking... Yeah, I love this character in a movie. Yeah, because she needs a green card. And
there's no wife. You think there's a wife?
No, if he does, it's because he has a ranch house that he inherited from his parents.
Right.
And it's dilapidated. And
he was dilapidated. Those legs were dilapidated.
She's banging the neighbor.
Holy crap. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild, man. But I go, so I don't know. I think the guy is probably like 45 or something. He looks like he's 104. And he's hot Brazilian, the whole thing. It was insane. But he was then he told me they're moving. He goes, in a year, he goes, I'm going to give this all up. We're moving to Panama.
A lot of people are doing that.
Panama. I go, why Panama? He goes, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of the United. I got to get away. And then I was okay. And then I kind of shut down. Ended the conversation. Did a fake phone call. Did you do that in the Uber ever? You ever do that? Hold on. I have everything muted, and I go, hey,
yep. Mm-hmm.
What's up, Bob? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Gonna need to do that. And
that's the only time I really became a prop act is in the back of an Uber or Lyft. When the guy's a motor mouth.
Yeah.
It's never like a hot chick motor mouth. It's always like
it's never a hot chick driving.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They generally don't. And the Icon is the only one in Terminal A. And I get in the car and he goes, hey, just get off the Icon. Well, yeah. Well, what? I did. Yes, I did. I gotta get the family on that thing.
He's trying to make small talk for his monologues that you're gonna have to endure.
It was small. I am not a fan of the small talk, and it was a lot. That's the worst part.
Podcast.
That's the worst part of going with one car. As we went to one car. This Ubering and going to the Uber.
Right.
The car itself, no big deal. I like getting a new car, driving it home, but that whole lift to the air, that thing is a bit of a fucking hassle. But
dude, a new car payment, insurance, maintenance, it's $6-7 grand a year.
Yeah, and I mean,
unless you're
to sit there for 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, but
that's what I'm saying.
What's the point? Yeah, I know. Just suck it up a little.
Your car will sit 14 to 21 days a month, which is not good for the car.
No, not good at all.
No, we went down to one car years ago.
Well, yeah, you're the one who told me to do it. That's why
it's worked out magnificently. I think we probably saved 28 grand, 4 years, 5 years.
Like tomorrow's like one of the few times where like my friend was, he goes, oh, I got tickets to see the Rays, 1 o'clock baseball. You want to go? And I said, yeah. And then Kelly has like some hair appointment at 2 o'clock or something. So she's like, I need the car. And I'm like, oh, so then I go, I don't know. He's like, no, I'll pick you up. I got nothing going on. You know what I mean? Like that one, I don't want
There's
to be
like,
like,
yeah,
oh, this guy's gonna come pick me up. It's kind of fucking lame, but you know,
I
what are
love
you
when
gonna do?
people pick me up.
They know on
We
the
had
corner.
friends over. We had friends over last night because your buddy Al makes pizzas from scratch in
We
his
know
in his
if you've been
outdoor.
listening for years, you've seen the pizza oven on the Patreon. You've heard the stories.
It's
Everyone makes
therapeutic.
believe they like them, but nobody really does. But Al still
Dude, they
makes them.
raved about them
They
last night.
rave.
We had
Yeah,
a couple
they
over that
rave.
we like hanging with, and their former neighbors. They bought a place about a mile and a half away, but now they came over last night. And I'm going to tell you what we did. But
All right.
I made two homemade pizzas, and they raved about them because
Mm.
Ducharme is getting a little better at making them every single time he makes them. So I was
Well,
giving
you've had
myself.
this for a while now. This isn't new. I mean, I would think
Well, I bought it during the
they're pretty good.
pandemic, and
That's 4 years
I've
ago.
been wanting it for 10 years.
Hey now.
So they absolutely went banana, and they've had them before, and they were just like, they're extra good, blah blah blah. So I made my homemade old fashioned kit, is what I'm trying to get to, and I looked up a good bourbon to use to make them,
Mm-hmm.
and they list all these 7-year-old. Oh, what is that? What is that?
Basil Hayden.
Oh my goodness, yes, so that was on the list.
That's good shit.
That's the good one, yes.
That's a good one, buddy.
So I used for the first time larceny. It's called larceny.
Don't know it.
They said their number one pick, and I scrolled down, believe it or not, $26.99 at Bevmo. Because, the some of the other ones are $40, $50, $60.
Hell yeah.
So I tried it, and they raved about those. They go, these are amazing.
These two people haven't eaten or drank in weeks.
No, they're
raving about
pros.
everything. They're raving about everything.
They're pros. They go everywhere and whatnot. So I went online and bought us tickets and invited them first. And we went to a 100-year-old movie theater. They used to have silent films when they started in Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
And they were showing the 60th anniversary of From Russia with Love on the big screen.
Mm.
And they had a little Q&A beforehand for about a half hour, and then they started the movie. And
Who did the Q&A? Who's alive?
No, just producers that,
Oh.
and people that are fanatics about it, nerds.
Oh, okay, right.
Nerds, and some guy that would do movie score reviews. He said nobody was doing them. They would do the movies, the actors, but nobody was doing the movie score. So I started doing that in 1985. So I went back, and then I caught up and started doing the modern films. And now he goes on tour. They hire him. I don't know. Maybe he gets like $250, $300 to come and talk about it. And
Right.
he's doing gigs. But
Nice.
I hadn't seen From Russian with Love since my television days as a kid, broken up with, obviously
Yeah.
they had to edit a lot of stuff out.
That's it for me too. I haven't seen it forever.
And television commercials.
Yeah.
And I would say it was their second Bond film. The first one was Dr. No, which they made for $1.1 million back in 1961, which was a ton of money. It made $59,600,000. So the second one they were trying to rush out, From Russia with Love, which is a postcard that 007 writes on, From Russia with Love, of the pretty Russian girl. And it was great, the atmosphere, the whole thing experience, but what a boring, dull Bond movie.
I don't remember. Was that with Catherine Deneuve?
No.
No.
Who was the actress? Who was the actress?
Who's the Bond chick?
The Bond girl, the Russian girl last night, Bernie. I'll put it up right here. This woman right here. Very pretty.
This is why you want Patreon right now. Boom. There it is. Without Patreon, we're not telling you the name.
Nope. Cough up that $5 a month.
You people who don't know what Patreon is,
you get a mug, you get a coaster, it's got a cork backing on it.
Look at this. This is old school. I'm wearing this is a collectible.
It is now.
That's a Two Dicks t-shirt with the old badge and
well, actually that still exists. The web series, The Two Dicks, is still up and running.
Yeah. The shirts though are collectible. If you have one, stop cleaning your car with it.
Swicky has one. Deborah
Swick does have one. Yeah, she was right about the first. Who?
Hold on a second. Who?
It's Daniela Bianchi as Tatiana Romanova.
Never heard of her.
So Italian girl playing Russian woman.
That wouldn't fly today.
No.
I don't remember the movie. I remember the movie, but it's been probably 40 years since I've seen
It's
it. So
the big
I'm not gonna see it now.
trailer.
You said
right?
it's
The big.
adult.
Well, for me, it's just dragged out, very slow, and then they do the train traveling with the map to move time,
Mhm.
and they went to that like 3 or 4 times too long. They show it going through the mountains. We actually did this on an episode of The Two Dicks, by the way. We did
That's right.
but it's an old
New
trick.
York to Florida.
But they just dragged it out. The opening scenes, they had the belly dancer, and they were putting the credits on her back and her stomach.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Austin Powers.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly. Austin Powers stole a lot from that movie right there. The specter with the cat and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun to go see, but Dr. No was before that, was a big hit. And then Goldfinger right after that, the third installment with Sean Connery, was huge and a much better movie. As I felt like this was like filler because they made so much money off the first one and they wanted to get to Goldfinger.
They weren't
that
ready.
you just crammed it.
Yeah.
And it was dragged out.
Which is the one with our ending, Pussy Galore? Is that Goldfinger?
I think
My name is Pussy Galore. I must be dreaming.
Yes.
Yeah. That might be Goldfinger.
It is.
Goldfinger,
do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die.
That sounds a little like Jim David.
A
little bit of a Jim David there. Comedian Jim
I
David.
put the laugh in. I put the Jim David laugh in.
Well, someone has to.
Someone has to put the laugh in Jim David.
That's right.
Hello,
folks.
Jim's very funny.
Do you ever watch Doctor Who? Do you know this show, Doctor Who?
The original television series, the British?
It's still on. It's current.
Well, there's so many actors have done the role.
Well, I've never seen it, but it's a time what I get is he travels in time, through time.
Are you talking about the latest installment where it's an African American English African American?
I don't know. I'm just because I belong to these weird Beatle fucking nerd sites, and Doctor Who this season is popping into London in '64, and he's going to see the Beatles recording their first album. And they sent out, but on the nerd sites, they've got a picture released already, and it's like you just want to go. Could you guys do any work at all? Could you try? They got the Beatles. They got the 4 guys. They look a little bit like the Beatles. But they got the John Lennon guy. He's wearing, in '64, he's wearing the Lennon specs. And it's like,
that's
not what the fuck?
The Lennon specs isn't
2-3 years, 2.5 years from then.
Get it accurate.
I mean, what would that? They didn't have anyone on the set going, he doesn't wear glasses in that time. Like, how do you make that error? That right there, I'm like, I'm out. But how do you make that error? That seems very
because you're going to draw all the curiosity people that are true Beatles fans, and all of a sudden you get there and they're disappointed. And most likely they're going to be disappointed anyways.
They're not going to watch it.
You put the glasses on the guy and done.
It's stupid. It's just like that doesn't. No, we're not watching that. So anyway, I just wondered if you were a fan. I've never really.
I just don't know what rendition it is because Doctor Who has had so many.
Yeah, whatever it's on now, currently, I don't know. But yeah, they're visiting in '64 with the specs on. So I go, I'm going to pass on that. Won't be seeing that. Speaking of which, I'm looking at my phone. I brought our car in yesterday for had a recall. You know, when they give you these recalls, it's like, oh, the backward camera reverse. I'm like, all right. So I take it in, and then our door. Do you remember months ago I got in a car accident? That old fucker backed into me.
Yeah. You almost beat the shit out of the 85-year-old guy because you had you had to jump on him.
That's right. I could have taken him.
You've gotten into a lot of automobile wrecks in the last few years, but continue with this story, please.
Well, the 2, and then neither one was my fault. I had a giant tent fly across the road and wipe out my car, and I had a 90-year-old.
That's a car accident, by the way.
Yeah, but not my. You make it sound like I was something that I did. I'm at no
You're
fault
in
in
a,
any
well,
of these.
you get behind the wheel, you go 100 miles an hour on these rental cars.
Well,
So
I had a Dodge Charger. I think it was fucking fun. I went to drive and get my smoked old fashioned and my fish and chips before
Oh.
they, 2
at
o'clock.
Waxy's,
At
West 17th
Waxy's.
in Fort Lauderdale.
Shout out Waxy's. So anyway, I take the car and the fob wasn't working with the passenger door. You know, when you walk past it, it's supposed to open. It wasn't opening. So thinking, oh, when they did the work at the other place, Caliber Collision, a little sloppy, they fucked up something with the door. So anyway, take it to Ford yesterday, and now they're like, yeah, there's an issue with the door. I go, yeah, I know. And
That's
they
why I
said
brought it in. That's
the
funny.
piece is
You bring it in.
broken.
There's an issue with the door, and they go. Oh, they look at it for like 3 hours. They go, "Yeah, there's an issue with the door." And it's like,
Yeah, the thing I told you about. Yeah, good work, scientist. So I go. They go, yeah, the piece is broken. I go, yep. Because I knew this Caliber Collision did it. So anyway, I'm there for over 3 hours,
Oh,
and then I walk up to the girl. I go, can you tell me the update or anything? She's like, yeah, it's gonna be the rest of the day. She goes, do you want a loaner? We can give you a loaner and get out of here. I'm like, yes.
3 hours.
I would like a loaner. Yes, thank you. So I got the car, and I still have it, but I'm waiting. I'm thinking it'll be ready today. At some point. Now, what do you do? Because I got insurance. I mean, I have the warranty on it. So I got to pay $100 deductible. That's all I got to pay for this. $100 for the door. Do you take that $100 bill and go to Caliber Collision now 3 months later and say this was due to your shoddy work? I don't really have proof, do I? What's your take on that? Sometime today,
you could
we're
start
recording.
Well, yes, I had to take all your information in because it was an abundance of fucking about a fucking broken door. You can ask
listeners.
You can ask.
Would you?
I would make I would send an email, make a phone call, and show up in person. You do the triple whammy.
Well, triple whammy.
And did you pay for the repairs with a credit card?
Well, I haven't paid yet. I still have the loaner. I have a brand new F-150 in the
when you get what I'm saying, the previous person, the repair work they did.
Oh yeah, that was 4 months ago, whatever it was. Well, I didn't pay. My insurance paid it. I didn't pay anything.
A deductible, no?
I paid the deductible, but I got reimbursed from my insurance company.
I would contact them by phone, email, and then in person, see if you can work it out, management, whatever. And then call your insurance company after that. If you want, if out of principle, it's $100.
Yeah.
Start off with a phone call. See how far you get. You might get. There's nothing we could do about it. We have no way of knowing that.
Right. What's the proof that because the work you did 4 months ago, today I had to get that door fixed. I should have had it fixed 4 months ago, but
plus
it wasn't working.
Plus you got to go. Plus it's taken hours and days out of my life, my schedule.
That's right. I'm a busy
man. My time
man.
is worth something. So
I'm a busy.
What
busy
can
man.
you do anything for me?
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you whatever.
All right.
We'll come in and we'll detail your car. I don't know. Or there's nothing we can do. Get something.
Yeah. Well, I gotta try something, but
just out of principle.
Yeah, because it's annoying, because it's like, why am I out $100? I didn't cause the accident. I took it to a place that was told to by my insurance company to get fixed, and now there's a problem and I got to pay $100. It seems not a great amount of money, but still, what the fuck? Why am I
folks,
out anything?
Please chime in below in the comment section of instruct Al. Give your opinion on, or perhaps a story that happened to you. Keep it brief. And,
yeah, we don't want to hear
share
your
some
story.
tips with us
but
about this.
Yeah, man.
Meanwhile, he's driving around 100 miles an hour in a Charger. Was that a 2024?
2024.
Jesus Christ.
That was sweet. Man, I haven't had a muscle car kind of feel. I haven't driven a muscle car thing and all. On that Alligator Alley, wide open, Saturday morning, 10,
where
9:30. And they're not
on Saturday morning
Alley.
because they were picking people off at night, coming home drunk from the bars. So they're all that's done with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are cops on Alligator Alley, but you've been on it. I assume it is just a 70-mile or so stretch of road, and it's pretty empty. And there's you
No
can
stops.
move on that.
Well,
There's one stop,
yeah,
one
gas
station,
station.
and one Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
On
I hit it.
Snake Road.
I hit it last time I went to your place in Tampa back in the day.
Oh, okay. Well, you're coming from Lauderdale, I guess.
Yeah, we're filming something.
Yeah, we got to do it again, man. We got that.
We got a
fucking
script.
Script. We have
a
ready to go.
John written by John Bazar. I'd like to try to get him to direct it.
Ooh.
But looks like we're going to be shooting in Florida, not Vegas. Hold on. Hold on a second. We have
Hold on.
What's that? Is this me?
The peanut gallery's popping in.
You guys should try to be there.
What in October? What?
I'm in Vegas in October.
Okay.
And you guys should try to work Vegas too somewhere.
Bernie said that she's in Vegas in October, and you and I should try to book a week there.
Okay.
Bring the gal.
It wouldn't be bad. I don't know where we would work or.
She's saying put your feelers out, see if you can grab.
All right, I'll put some feelers out. Feel it. We could feel it up. I'll fill up Vegas. Did you see the drop? Any of the videos? It's begun.
Yeah,
the demolition has begun.
The demolition, the dismantling, the implosion will be soon.
Yeah, the front area with
5 seconds.
The lobby.
4,
the lobby,
3,
all
2.
It'll look like 9/11. Yeah. Anyway,
I just made more work for myself in editing. I have to do the building collapse.
That's your call, buddy. You chose this line of work. This is the line. What was the line from The Godfather? This is the profession we have chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And who said that? Give it to me. 5 points and the lead. This is the profession.
Was it Michael?
We have chosen. It was not Michael, but he was Mike. No, he's not Michael or the father. But Michael's in the scene.
Sonny?
No, you're way off.
Is it the lawyer, Tom?
No, sir. This is Godfather 2. Godfather 2.
I don't know.
Hyman Roth.
Oh, Hyman Roth. That's right. Who played Hyman Roth? 5 seconds.
The great acting teacher. I can't think of his name, but he's a great acting teacher.
Lee Strasberg. Lee Strasberg.
That's right. That's right.
Actor studio.
We just looked up. Kelly and I were looking at Lee Grant, the actress Lee Grant, who was beautiful back in the day.
Yeah.
And still around. And I wouldn't Google her image. That's all I'm saying. But she's still around.
Well, she's in her 90s.
Well, she didn't do the work. She didn't get all the bullshit. Right. She aged. So it's shocking. It's like she looks like a fucking 90-year-old lady. But I'm
all about doing a little work along the ways. Not drastic, not Madonna. Just
it's obvious.
Little nip and tuck here and there.
I can see it.
Every 8 to 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You still nipping and tucking it a little? You tuck it back?
No, I'm saying I'm in agreement with it, especially for women who are hit harder by this, than men.
But when you see someone, don't you think? I think you'd look better if you just aged than a Meg Ryan or whatever.
I said no extreme. I said no extreme.
Yeah, but they all go nuts. They all go nuts with it.
Well, some of them believe they fall for the old, get it all done now, and then it will all fall into place in a few years, and you'll look.
It's falling all right.
And some of them don't. It doesn't fall into place.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice the ones that just do a slight thing over the years, you go, wow, they look great. And you never see any dramatic Madonna.
Right.
You never, you just don't see that.
Yeah.
It's a subtle little here, little eye. My sister had her eyes done. It's subtle.
We know.
But it reduced her age by 8-10 years.
She found a man.
It's one of our. I know. She got that done. She found a man.
Some superficial man who wasn't interested in her when she had her bad eyes.
Some guy's just a few years older than her, and he thinks that he's a cradle robber.
Oh, that's nice. I'm a cradle. How old? What's your difference, Bernie and you? Age? What do we get there? What's the diff?
Pretty significant.
Not asking the age. What's the diff? I mean, you 10 years, 4 years, a year? Look at that. We're getting all weird. Patreon, you know the answer. Regular listeners, sorry.
I put my fingers up for that.
We gotta
Yeah.
give it the Patreon.
We have to take every opportunity we can to get people to join the Patreon. That's patreon.com/2owls1pod. And what that does is gives you access to exclusive videos other than the podcast, but the podcast, full podcast. You get gifts, you get swag and special announcements that the normal person or the average Joe will not get.
Yeah, the average Joe is not getting what we're given. And we just mentioned on the last podcast where I met the guy and he goes, "Hey, I enjoyed your podcast." And I go, "Oh, thanks." I go, Patreon. He goes, "What's that?" I'm like, I don't think you listen.
It's a weird name, Patreon. I wish they would call it something else, like podcast member support or something. Just something that says what it is.
Yeah, it is a weird name. It hasn't caught on. A lot of people do aware of it and love it, but a lot of people generally still don't know what it is. It's amazing. But did you see, by the way, Venmo is adding? They're going up in July 1st, 2.9%
per transaction.
They'll be charging per transaction.
Well, that's why you got to do the other one. What's the other one now? You can go directly to your bank account, no fees. Zelle goes right to your bank account, no fees, instantly.
Zelle. I was thinking when I heard Zelle, I was thinking, like, why do I know that name? Zelle. It's like it's in my head. What the fuck was that? That was the Laurence Olivier character in Marathon Man. The old
Dr. Zell.
Remember that woman goes, Zell, Zell, yeah. In the garment district, they started chasing him. The diamond district.
He pulled out Dustin Hoffman's tooth.
He sure did. He took the nerve and pulled it out and played with it and asked, "Is it safe? Is it safe?" Yeah, it was brutal.
Meanwhile, he was, innocent because his brother, Roy Scheider, I didn't believe they were brothers. They didn't look alike at all.
No, that was
a stretch.
But yeah.
That was the famous movie where Dustin Hoffman's character had to be up all night with no sleep. So as an actor, he's a method actor. He was up all night without sleep, so he would look drawn and whatnot. And then that's when Laurence Olivier said, "It's called acting. Don't do that. Just act it."
Hoffman was on Inside the Actors Studio and disputed that story.
Yep, but it's a good story.
But he goes, it sort of happened. He goes, what really? He goes, it wasn't me about being a method actor. He goes, I was at Studio 54 all night. I just partied all night.
He
went to the
all
set.
Night.
Yeah, I went to the set like a mess. And Olivia said, "Why don't you try acting?"
Meanwhile, he didn't want to tell everybody at the time that he was.
Yeah. But now he can. He's 90 years. I mean, he's up there. He's one of those. It's funny. Him and Hackman were roommates when they were in their 20s in New York, and they're both still around.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both. I mean, Hackman's 91.
Mm-hmm.
Hoffman's got to be. I mean, God, he's got to be 85 or more. When The Graduate was like 68, and
came out in 69. They shot it in
69. He was 20 something.
No, he was actually 30, and he was too old. But Mike
he's got to be 90.
Mike Nichols wanted. So in 1968, when they shot it, he was 30. So do the math. That means he was born in 38. Right. So he's coming up on 88.
These guys are just I mean, I saw a video of.
How old is actor Dustin Hoffman? 86.
86. I mean, I just saw a video of Jagger running to start the concert. He's running up and down the stage, that long
he's 80,
they put up,
right? 81.
He's 81, and guy's starting the concert with doing a lap, and then he's going to sing for the next 2.5 hours. It's incredible, man. Really, when you think of what in 81, when we grew up, what 81 looked like.
He should have had some work done.
Yeah. Well,
because he has a skinny, wiry body of like a fit 65-year-old or 60-year-old. But he has a face of a 90-year-old.
Right. Well, he always had that. Yeah. Even when he was young, he had that
I'm
face.
So hot for her. I'm so hot for her.
She's so cold.
Can't get no satisfaction. name is John.
That's our clip right there. There we go.
We got a
There's the
clip.
clip. Clip it. Clip it. Clip that bitch. You know what time it is,
Clip that bitch.
son? You know what time it is?
Do we have questions?
We
One
have
question?
We have one.
Ba-bum,
We have a question. I might but you get that now all that talk of that
brought to you by
fashioned.
Basil Hayden Bourbon Whiskey. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Bourbon.
I don't understand the differences. Bourbon, straight bourbon, bourbon whiskey,
Got me.
whiskey,
Rye,
single
rye.
malt,
Rye's a bourbon.
blend, rye. I've seen all
don't
three names. Bourbon, rye, whiskey. I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah.
what is it? And then
Yeah.
some people go, I don't do the whiskey. I can only do the bourbon. I can't do the bourbon. I can only do the whiskey. And then you got all
like
three.
Jack Daniels is a whiskey, but you can have it in an old fashioned, and that's
Yes.
usually a bourbon.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not an aficionado. I don't get it.
You can make them with whiskey too, but
sure.
I don't know which one.
You can make them with anything you want. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Whatever you enjoy. It's like
Whatever you
Napa. The
enjoy.
guy, remember at Napa, I go, which one's better? He's like, whatever one you enjoy. That's the best one.
Mhm.
The one you like is the best. I'm like,
Mhm.
good. Give me a box of that, whatever it's called, and leave me alone. You know
Give
what
me
I'm
the cheap shit that I like.
saying? Yeah. And bring me an order of those grilled cheese sandwiches you tried to talk me out of. Where's that from? Come on. Pull it.
Can't pull
guy.
it. Can't
It's too
pull it,
early
man.
over there on the West Coast.
It's
The
a
jerk.
little-
The jerk.
Ah.
He
Speaking of
gets
the jerk,
convinced. He
how
gets
are
convinced
you?
to order snails, and then she freaks out. There's a snail on her plate. And then he goes, and bring us those grilled cheese sandwiches you talked me out of. They don't realize they're dealing with sophisticated people. Did you watch the Steve Martin docu on whatever it's on?
Everybody's
Apple or
watching these
Max?
documentaries, and they're supposed to be phenomenal. Someone told me to watch that one and also to watch the one about Kevin Spacey.
I haven't seen that one. That would be good, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the Steve Martin one's great. If you've read the book, it's basically the book
Oh, it is. I did read it. His
come to
book.
life. Yeah. Born Standing Up, I think.
Yes,
was
Born
titled.
Standing Up. Yes. I did read
Anyway,
that.
yeah, that's awesome
Decade ago.
docu. But yes, it is time. We do have a question, John. I'll tell them how we
What
answer
happens
our
is
questions
we're on
here.
different platforms of social media. And if you have a question, please ask. Instagram is a good place to go. And that's 2 Owls, 1 Pod. Or is it the 2 Dicks and the Talking Dicks? Do we have like 8 different names for who?
No,
we
they're
are?
all 2 Owls, 1 Pod.
Okay. That's resolved. Very good. Ask us a question.
That's resolved.
and we'll
we do
answer it
have-
on the very next podcast.
Pretty much, yep. We're pretty good with it because we don't get that many. Here we go. Here's the question. This is a good one. I kind of like this question. Who would you rank, or what? Who or what would you rank as the best comedy special of all time? All time. Best comedy special.
Well, mine's not released until October. So let's put that one on the sideline.
Of course. Yeah. We heard
Your,
great things.
your-
though.
yours was released. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
That was a snooze.
No,
I have another one. July 2nd, I have a
I
new one
know.
coming
I
out
actually
that I'll
enjoyed
promote at the
that one.
time.
I was going to make the joke was I was having trouble sleeping, but I put that on and I went right out.
Thank you.
No, I always,
Glad I
dude.
could
I'm
help.
one of your biggest fans.
Glad I could help. Thank you. But yeah, I have a crowd work one on July 2nd that'll be out there, and I'll talk about that as it gets closer. Thinking about all of them, who would you like? I think everyone, the usual go-to, if I could,
Yes.
is Pryor live on the Sunset Strip.
Sure.
That's the go-to. But
Yeah.
and you know what the weird thing about that, when you watch that, if you've watched it recently, or he doesn't have whoever. I don't know if there was an opening act or he just comes, but he comes out. There's no introduction. He's walking out, and the crowd is walking in. He's messing with the crowd as they're walking. They're walking in while Pryor's just on stage starting.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, remember? And then the white guy has the camera, and
Yeah.
he starts taking pictures. And Pryor's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
Sit down." But it's such the weirdest. Like nowadays, your special would be set up. You'd have an opener,
Mhm.
very dramatic intro, and Pryor's just walking around the stage, and people are coming into the
I love it.
theater.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it's wild, but that's always been the go-to. Do you have one
Yeah,
that you can think of where you go?
that's the easy one. That's what I'm saying. It's then
Yeah.
and any of not any, but certain Carlin ones I enjoyed very much. I
Yeah.
don't remember the particular name. Sometimes I liked 20 minutes of one special and 20 minutes of another special. I'm like, oh, if we put those together, that would be my all-time favorite.
Right. Well, somebody made a good point about him. Just going how his specials it would be like brilliant material for 20 minutes, and then fart jokes for
Yep.
10.
Mhm.
And then it was all over the place. But the one I don't know the title, the one he's outside New York, he's walking down the sidewalk and then just walks in. The camera follows him
Mhm.
walking in onto the stage.
Mhm.
That one's
I like
fantastic.
that.
It's in the round.
Yeah, it's organic. What is that?
Yeah.
Joe's Pub or something like that? Or
I don't remember the name of that one, but that was really, really good. But there's so many.
but those are the Mount Rushmore of comedians
Yeah.
right there. Those are the two of them. I before he was a rapist well, he's probably raping. Bill Cosby himself was enjoyable on HBO just as a, entertainment for a full hour.
Yeah.
There's some comedians now that I really enjoyed watching their specials maybe 10 years ago, whatever.
What was the last time you sat down and watched a special?
Chappelle's probably Chappelle during the pandemic.
I wrote
I
wrote that down. Chappelle,
Yeah.
Killing Me Softly.
Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
fantastic. And my other one on that would be Brian Regan, I Walked on the Moon. That's ridiculous.
I love Brian Regan. I love because he does clean, super silly, and just fun to watch. I love his setups, the way he sets it up kind of like normal, like Brian. Then he goes into the character, but it's funny. It's just
and that one was shot at I think it was an improv. He's got the improv behind him, and he's on the stage at the improv, so it's not a theater. It's a real comedy club. But that thing, if you haven't seen it, folks,
check that out.
It's I Walked on the Moon, and it's just fucking an hour of jokes. I mean, it doesn't stop. That was when he was at his height of becoming Brian Regan.
Yeah.
This guy that no TV to speak of, no movies to speak of.
Voted funniest comedian of the year a couple of years, won it.
And sells out theaters and wherever he goes.
But it's his audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's his people. So
it's so good.
That's how that works. Yep. Enjoy it very much. So, I mean, it was a big question.
Yeah.
Hard to answer, but I think we threw a bunch of examples out there and you and I are in agreement.
I believe we are. There's current ones I liked, but I haven't seen the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I watched a little of Shane Gillis, the one on Netflix. Really funny. Things like that. I'll watch parts, but it's tough to just
to fill a full hour and get the whole thing. Chappelle was the last one for me. Of course, Billy Burke, a couple of his have done it. But these other guys, like we love Mark Norman. We've had him on here on the podcast. And I love watching his clips. I think that's his strength when he does his 4 to 6 minute rants or 3 to 6 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Just hysterically funny in the moment and different from whatever anybody else is doing. Same thing with Gillis, just watching a clip,
I watched
Jim Gaffigan can do it in the clips, just a bit.
That's what I need. It's just a clip. It's hard to sit through, but I watched Joe List, that's Norman's podcast guy, his partner, his last one, really good. Really. I mean, I think in their case, I think List is a almost better comic than Norman, and Norman's a better guest on podcasts. So that's why he's really grown from that. He has a bigger audience. But I think as a comic, and I think List is a better stand-up because Norman just tends to, and I'm not saying he's not funny, of course he's hilarious, but it's all analogy. Every bit's an analogy.
So why do they do this? And when you go,
and you can, I get to the point, I can kind of guess. I mean, I'm guessing
when you're trained to do it. Yeah. But he does get clever with it often. That's the key. Having it, having a comedian do, oh, he's got this really funny bit he does, and then the rest of it is like, okay. Norman seems to, just when you start to go down, he comes back and hits it with another.
Well, he's aware. He
he's
has that
very in
old school
tune.
mentality of gotta have jokes. Joke.
Yep.
This has
Fill
been
it
too
in. I
long
can't have a
without joke.
lull. Yeah. And then, but also
no
I like
lulls.
how he filmed a lot of it too, where he's working on material. He's showing him and trying it out. And then he tries that at another place and he changes the order. And you can see it organically forming to where he wants it. So I enjoy that part. But List, I guess, I haven't seen enough of him, but he seems to be I have to sketch out the whole thing before I perform it.
Oh,
whereas Norman is organic. He's like in the
right.
You can see him building the steps to it.
Yeah, Joe's more like a '90s or two comic, that kind of thing. It's observations, it's tight. They're like you can take it do Letterman sets out of his.
Yeah, and he leans a little bit more towards the not so much obscurity of Louis C.K., but the telling the whole story.
Right, and that makes sense. I mean, they write together, and they're tight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything new you're working on? Any bits, anything like that? Any new jokes? Any thoughts? Any poems?
Is this another question?
No, I'm just asking you as a thing because
I keep leaning towards this marriage material stuff, and I don't want to be. But people can relate to it on cruise lines, certainly. Well, anywhere.
100%.
It seems to be that stuff is kind of whatever happens in our life.
Yeah.
I kind of amplify it a little bit. Bernadette's doing similar things in her act. I'll say something and then she'll make a joke about it.
Right.
And all of a sudden it becomes a bit.
Yeah. So
like something hers comes from.
Give me a thought.
Let me hear what's happening.
And maybe I'm just having a thing. I just thought of it. I mean, I think about it. I was just doing it, but I think tell me if it's been done because it's only a beginning of it. But I'm saying I bought an e-bike, and I ride it, but I don't look good on it. I'm not like a biker guy on an e-bike. I look like a guy who's got probably 3 DUIs. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like I'm not looking like I'm getting my exercise and I know what I'm doing with the helmet, pants.
And how much exercise are you getting with it?
A lot until that huge. Sure. I mean, I'm pedaling the whole time, even if it's on one, I'm still pedaling. So
now Kelly is getting more exercise.
Yeah.
You've already admitted that, right?
Well, she doesn't ride though all the time because it's too hot now. She's not riding. So she's getting no exercise on the bike. Where I am riding, having strokes. And
you're not going to be doing any riding if she listens to this podcast.
Hey now. Well, she's out of work right now, so she's not even listening to the pod. She's a couple pods behind because she watches the pod while she works, and her company got hijacked. So she hasn't been working.
Oh, that's still going on? They're holding it for ransom?
Yeah, she may be back next week. They don't know. And she goes, I'm like 3 podcasts behind. And I go, well, just listen. She goes, well, I like to do it when I'm working, so I'm going to wait. So she's going to have a backlog of pods.
Well, Kelly, I hope you're getting a paycheck while your company's hijacked.
She is.
All right.
She's in no rush. She's fine with not coming back.
It's being digitally transferred to her account.
It seems to be okay. Yeah.
All right. Just because when you said hijacked
But have you heard that one before? Have you heard? I feel like that bit's old. The guy, me going, I look like a guy with 3 DUIs. I don't look like hey, that guy's in shape.
I didn't understand what you said. 3 DUIs?
DUIs.
DUIs. No, yeah.
DUIs.
Yeah, you were flubbing over the line. I was like, what is he saying?
Oh,
well, DUIs.
Yeah, that's what I look like. I look like a guy. I think when I'm riding, I picture people in the car going, that guy's got a DUI.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I like it.
All right. On that one. I just thought it when you something comes to you and then you go, that's too easy. Like that's been done. I must have heard that, but I don't.
I had a couple of. I'll run it by my comedian friends. I got to do it. I'm doing this new line. In my act. It sounds like I've heard it before, or is it common? And then I do it for them, and they've said, "No, I've never heard that. That's funny." So I kept.
They go, "Yeah, we've heard the candle store bit."
I just feel like it.
It's yours.
I've heard it before, so
that'd be fun to have Alzheimer's and rewrite your act. Like have Alzheimer's and be like, "I got this new candle store bit." I'm gonna like, what?
Dude,
I'm working on Biggie. I don't know
I
if you've
have-
heard it. Biggie.
I have a quiver of arrows that are tried and true sharpened arrows.
Mm.
And I'll try out my new stuff and then work it in. And then if it's not going well, I reach behind, I pull out the tried and true and just
Mhm.
hit my bullseye. So
Mhm.
that's the structure of my act. You'll have my
Right.
12, the best of Al Ducharme 12 bits are going to be in my act at some point.
And mine.
Because I don't have a big I don't have a following. So if I had a following, the pressure of coming up with a new half hour, 45 would be there. So I'm wondering if that's hurting.
It hurts, and that's the given
Trap.
the
That's
good
the trap.
a trap. It's like a cruise. We don't have to sell tickets either.
Right.
You get
Built-in
comfortable.
audience.
You're in front of
Captive
1,000,
audience.
2,000 people in a theater or in a club, hundreds of people, 15 shows, 13 shows a week. But it's not.
You got to bring it. You got to bring it.
You got to bring it.
When the material that you know that works is there, you're afraid to try out too many new things to slip them in, which we do. We slip them in here and there. But having that freedom of going to a comedy club,
right,
on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, on an open mic even, and say, I got to work on these jokes, and let go of your ego and just say, I'm willing to bomb. I'm willing to bomb for 5 minutes.
I'm
on
willing
stage.
to. I just don't want to go to the open mic, physically go. I'm willing to bomb.
It's hard to motivate.
Stuff. I just don't. I when I'm home, I can't get out and go out and be around 20-year-olds bombing and talking about eating ass, and I'm like, I'm not going.
See, but if you had a buddy with you to motivate you, that helps. And, I was doing that when I first moved to LA. I'd meet up with somebody, and and we'd go around. I'd do it with Bernie once occasionally.
Right, but that was a long time ago when you moved there. Now to do it at this point,
it's hard. Now I tell her, I go, when I get home after being away for a couple of weeks,
right,
I want to do my stuff, my neighborhood, my
home. I want to
make
my pizzas.
I want to make my pizzas. I want
for
me to go.
You burn in the bottom a little.
We left
little bottom burn.
Yeah, a little charred on the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, you check it out. You lift it. You check it. If it's a little speckled, you pull it out.
All right.
But we went to Beverly Hills last night. We went over the hill out of the valley. That's big to get out of the valley now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because you don't want to deal with traffic and parking and all that. But we did it. Matter of fact, we reserved a Lyft, not an Uber, but a Lyft. And it was supposed to pick us up at 6 p.m. It didn't show. It didn't show. It said he is 6 minutes away. We're like, wow, he's going to be here at 6:06. It's reserved. He's supposed to be here either 5 minutes before or on time. He was actually late, and then it just went away. It said driver canceled.
You can go to your neighborhood.
So we only had one cocktail. So Melissa, our friend Melissa, said, I'll drive. I was planning on driving anyways. I didn't know you guys reserved a Lyft. So we drove over the hill, took 20 minutes, and parked like half a block away from the theater, and at a meter, went in for 2.5 hours, came back out, came back here and had a nightcapper. Old fashioned.
Nice.
Wow.
Are you talking to me again?
So that was fun.
Oh, that was fun, she said. Bernadette Pauly said it was fun.
Well,
she's dying. She's dying to be back on. She's been on 2 episodes. I guess Helen's been on 3, and Helen and Bernie are competing.
Yeah. Well, she's going to bring those Helen Keeney numbers.
That's
we'll
true.
get you back. We'll get you back on. No problem. Well, all right. Let me look at my notes here. Doctor Who and the question and Ford and the lift. And that's pretty good. I know I have some. I'll save it for the next one. Why not? Save that one. So have a little something there. Save it. All right.
Security.
Hello, there she is. Patreon people.
Helen Keeney and I are fighting to get on the show like 2 hot women fighting for James Bond. It's a very similar dynamic.
It does seem very similar. Yeah, we got to get pencil her in somewhere along the line, would you please? Yeah.
Well, it may happen next week because we're going to be on the road together. Wink, 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 wink,
gotcha.
nudge, nudge.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. All right. There you go.
You just keep Venmoing me. You just keep Venmoing me that money from the podcast.
With a 2.99%,
Fee. Well, we can switch
fee.
another.
Bastards.
We can find another.
Yeah, I'm
Something
done
else.
with Venmo. I'm not paying them to transfer my money to someone. That's ridiculous.
What other besides
we know?
Zelle? But can you use Zelle for this purpose? Because PayPal bought Venmo,
mm,
and
I don't know.
PayPal was created by who? 5 seconds.
I don't know.
Elon Musk was a part of
PayPal?
PayPal, wasn't it? Wasn't it PayPal that Elon Musk was a part of starting, Bernie? I think so. And he sold that.
Wow.
He sold that for billions. And then
Billions.
he started a space thing and the electric car
billions.
company in Tesla.
It's all
Billions
bullshit.
with a B.
It's all he's a battery man. That's what it all comes down. That's all he's doing. It's a battery man.
What was Steve Jobs?
Right. But I'm saying it's like McDonald's, you're in the real estate business.
Concept and motivation.
He's a battery guy. The rest of it was his,
It's a golf cart with a big battery. Slick looking.
He's got a big announcement coming July 15th about X and AI. It's a whole big, going to change the world.
He's already changed the world.
I doubt we'll be changing. I don't think the world changed.
He's for the better or for the worse?
I don't know. The jury in the Trump thing went to with the jury today, the trial. What do you think? What's your guess?
Oh, they didn't. It wasn't kicked out. It wasn't.
No, it went to the jury.
Hung jury. So that means it gets past that. No,
they're deciding guilty or innocent or hung. But what's your guess?
Hung.
You're going hung jury. Okay, let's write that down. Al goes with a hung. Al is hung as people. Blind people.
So what happens if he's guilty? Are they going to say, we're going to put off sentencing until after he's elected president? So we have to wait 4.5 years, and then he comes out.
You tell me. I don't know.
And he's going to appeal. Whatever it is, he's going to appeal.
I know. I thought you couldn't run for president if you were indicted of a felony, but I guess you can. I don't know.
Is it going to cause? Is it going to push us closer to civil war? That's the question.
I don't know, but my musket is at the ready right now. I've got 3 shells.
I just sharpened my bayonet.
That you goddamn right.
I use it now to pick oranges off my tree. But when the shit hits the fan, everybody's going to steal our oranges, obviously, to survive. And
first to go.
We're all going to become homeless, and then the homeless are going to be running the shit. They're going to be like Lord of the Flies. They're like, I've been out here for 20 years homeless. You can't survive without me. Follow my lead.
Well, if it's going that way, see that poster behind me? I'm going there. If the shit's gonna hit the fan, I might as well enjoy a place.
We're going to Mazatlan.
All right, I'm going to Havana. Fuck it. That's where I'll be.
Or maybe Cozumel, because Cozumel is an island, and I'll be closer to you.
Yeah, well, and Kelly's cousin, who's a Patreon member.
Right.
They're watching. They live there, and it's beautiful. And I just saw her husband. In fact, 2 weeks ago, he was nice enough to pick me up, and we went to Poncho's and crushed some margarita.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, free show night. What are you gonna do? You gotta do it.
No, you have to do
it.
Go
back, take a little nap, shower.
He's willing to take time out of his life.
Oh yeah.
To pick your ass up, you gotta indulge.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. And
you had to put it on autopilot. You had to put it on autopilot that night. You just went.
Yeah, the first one, a little buzz still. So that one was fun. Got through, had a good time. Second one wasn't great. I was getting a little tired. And the third one definitely was like, I should have done Hair of the Dog.
I can't believe I drank the whole thing.
You drank it, Al. That was an Al, by the way. Good call. That was Al.
And that's the podcast.
Peace.
Good luck in prison.
Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I told him they were a couple of dicks.
Fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Okay, sure.
All right.
subscribe.
Mary.
Go to patreon.com/forward the 2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.